Alright, let's talk about something that's been blowing up lately, Gen Z's ghosting habit, but this time, it's not just in dating. It's in the workplace. Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently, young workers are taking a page from their dating playbook and ghosting employers. And honestly, this is one of those trends that makes you go, wait, what? So, let's break this down and figure out what's really going on here. First off, what's the deal with ghosting in the workplace? We're talking about candidates who accept job offers, maybe even start the onboarding process, and then, poof, they disappear. No call, no email, nothing. According to a resume.org survey, 54% of hiring managers have been ghosted by Gen Z candidates. That's more than half. Personally, I think this is a massive shift in how younger generations are approaching work. It's not just about flaking on a date, it's about fundamentally changing the rules of professional engagement. What makes this really interesting is the context behind it. Mary Julia Koch from the Wall Street Journal points out that Gen Z is entering a job market that's been pretty rough. Economic pressures, inflation, housing affordability, these are all factors that have left many young people feeling like the system is rigged against them. And honestly, I get it. If you're in your early 20s and the idea of homeownership feels like a pipe dream, it's easy to feel disillusioned. But here's the thing, ghosting employers isn't just a reaction to economic frustration, it's also a reflection of how Gen Z communicates. From my perspective, this is where things get really fascinating. Koch argues that growing up online has made face-to-face interactions more intimidating for some young people. Think about it, if you've spent most of your life communicating through screens, the idea of showing up for a job, especially one that might not feel like a perfect fit, can be overwhelming. Ghosting becomes a way to avoid that discomfort. But here's the kicker, in a job market where hiring is slow, this behavior could backfire big time. You're not just ghosting a Tinder match, you're potentially burning bridges with future employers. One thing that immediately stands out is how this trend ties into broader cultural shifts. Gen Z is the generation that's delaying traditional milestones, buying homes, getting married, even starting careers. They're also the ones breaking taboos, like posting salaries online. So, in a way, ghosting employers feels like another act of rebellion against outdated norms. But what many people don't realize is that this behavior could have long-term consequences. If you take a step back and think about it, professionalism isn't just about showing up, it's about building a reputation. And in an era where job hopping is common, that reputation matters more than ever. This raises a deeper question. Is ghosting in the workplace a symptom of a bigger problem? Are we looking at a generation that's fundamentally rethinking what work means to them? Or is this just a phase that'll pass once the economy improves? Personally, I think it's a mix of both. Gen Z is definitely reshaping workplace norms, but they're also reacting to a system that feels broken. What this really suggests is that employers might need to adapt too, maybe by offering more flexibility, better communication, or even just more empathy. A detail I find fascinating is how this trend highlights the disconnect between generations. For older workers, ghosting an employer is unthinkable. But for Gen Z, it's almost a natural extension of how they navigate relationships, both personal and professional. This isn't just about laziness or lack of professionalism, it's about a different set of priorities and values. And honestly, that's something we all need to pay attention to. So, where does this leave us? Well, for one, it's clear that the workplace is changing fast. Gen Z isn't just entering the workforce, they're redefining it. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing depends on who you ask. But one thing's for sure, ghosting employers isn't going away anytime soon. And if you're an employer, you might want to start thinking about how to engage with this generation in a way that feels authentic to them. In my opinion, the real takeaway here isn't just about ghosting. It's about understanding the mindset of a generation that's grown up in a world that feels increasingly uncertain. They're not just workers, they're individuals who want to feel seen, heard, and valued. And if employers can't meet them halfway, well, they might just find themselves getting ghosted. So, what do you think? Is Gen Z's ghosting habit a problem, or is it just the next step in workplace evolution? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts.